So we are talking about workplace wellness again today. I'm joined by Alyssa, and I'm really excited because we're going to be talking to you and showing you some very practical things that you can do. It's all very well to talk about all these things, but when you're in the heat of the moment and you're feeling very stressed and anxious, it can be helpful to have some actual techniques and to know some of the things that you can do. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's jump right in with that. And Alyssa is going to take you through some exercises. Over to you, Alyssa.
Yes, thank you, Linda. I'm so excited for today. I love practical techniques and
Mm,
tools, and I'm always learning, and I love to share what I have on my tools in my toolkit.
yeah.
So, for today, I'm going to teach you or show to you, and Linda, you can practice with me a method that I use that it's called EFT, or
Mm,
also known as tapping. And what we do is actually we tap on acupressure points on the upper body. There are all type of energy points in our body, and this is actually it comes from acupuncture. So if you're familiar with acupuncture, you may know that when those needles are inserted in those specific parts of the body, it promotes the wellness response. It actually encourages your own body to release that stress and also to allow the energy in the body to align. So we're not going to use needles today. We're
I'm
only
very
going to
happy because I don't like needles. So this is good
so
for me.
for people that don't like needles and are afraid to go to the acupuncturist because of the needles, you can always try tapping. And I'll teach you the basic recipe, which is 9 points. There are more than that. But if you take just a deep breath while you're tapping, and let's do it together, you're actually sending a calm signal to the amygdala in the brain, where the stress response originate, where that fight or flight response, yeah, activates. So when we do this, we are actually interrupting it,
Ah,
and we are allowing our nervous system to reset. And all of these points are connected to an organ. So I'm not going to be giving you a whole lecture. I'm going to be very practical. So let's move to the next point. It's actually top of the head, where that soft area was when you were a baby. That's where you're able to identify. And it's not like you're tapping on the whole head. I see some YouTube videos where people are tapping on the whole head. It may feel good, especially if you're tensing your scalp, but the right point, it's right on the that soft area.
okay.
Then the next point is where the eyebrow begins. So you
Okay.
can tap both parts of the eyebrows, or you can just do one. It doesn't matter because meridian points run on the two sides, and you can still stimulate one side. The next point that I like to tap is the side of the eye, and it's right next to the eyes, not to the temples, but right in. And you may feel like you want to take a deep breath, or you may want to yawn. That's perfectly normal. That's actually movement of energy. That means you are sending that calm signal to the amygdala, and the nervous system is relaxing. Then go under the eyes, right under the eyes. And actually, this is where the stomach meridian starts. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like you have this knot in your stomach, maybe you have a presentation coming up and you're experiencing all that stress response, like sweaty hands, like palpitations, the whole protocol works. But if you can remember one point, it's a great point. Then under the nose, it's another point. And I know that it may be sometimes difficult to do this in front of other people because they're like, what are you doing? This looks weird. It looks funny. I understand. This looks funny. A lot of people tell me. Let's move to the next point. It's the chin point. But honestly, It may look weird at first, but the benefits are what really matter. And I think it's better to have people experience it than me telling you, okay, what this all about. And I usually what I do is I ask people, okay, level your stress level from 0 to 10. How are you feeling? And then after doing this, just check back in. Is the pain or the discomfort the same? Have you noticed anything? And usually it changes. So the next point is under the collarbone. So you find your collarbones and just right under. So in, not out. And this is actually connected to the kidney meridians. And it's great whenever you're feeling constricted, like you have you have that shallow breath, you feel like it's hard to breathe because you're like doing so much. And then just take a few deep breaths here and let go. And that right there, it's really good. And then the final point, it's under the arm. For the ladies, it's actually below the brow line. So it's like 4 inches down, 10 centimeters down. And you can do one side or you can actually hug yourself if that's comfortable. And take another deep breath and exhale. So those are the 9 acupressure points that we do for the basic recipe. But like I said, sometimes we can't show it. So what I encourage you to do, if you want to do it like low profile, nobody to see you, you can still do the finger points. So you can tap or you can just rub your thumb, rub your index finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. So you can do that under the table, like I'm doing it right now, and nobody's noticing. I can still do the side of the hand, which is another point, and nobody's noticing. Maybe I'm in a meeting and I'm like this, and nobody's gonna notice, right? Or maybe I'm like this, doing the under the collarbone point. So those are some tricks you can practice. There is another powerful point that it's between the ring finger and the pinky. So right here, you can rub this area here. Rub it or just tap, and you can do it under the desk, and nobody will notice it.
I love that. It's like surreptitious tapping. It's like, get nobody knowing. Yes, that's
Yeah, you
perfect.
can always rub it, or you can touch and
Mhm.
breathe. Just hold
Yeah,
the point and breathe.
I love
Yes.
that. Okay, well, thank
So
you. That's
yes.
very helpful to know those points.
Yes. So practice them, breathe. There is so much more to this
Yeah,
because it's not only about tapping and breathing, but it's a start. And I
it's a
use
great
this to
start.
go deeper because what we're doing is we are interrupting the stress response. We're sending that signal to the amygdala. You are safe.
Yeah,
Now we can access some other things from the subconscious. So that's what the deeper work involves, but
right.
that's that's for
Yeah,
another session.
another time. Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, now I want to share
Yes.
some ways to do it. Let's say you're in the middle of a meeting and maybe you're even chairing the meeting or you're about to go on stage, you're doing a presentation and you know, it may be hard to do some tapping. So I want to share some things that you can do inside your mind, inside your body to really help you. The first, always the best thing you can ever do is breathe, right? Because when we're stressed, when we're worried about something, when we're experiencing anxiety, we forget to breathe, it's very shallow breathing. And that just adds to your feeling of stress and anxiety. When you stop, become aware of that breathing, stop, and then start to take some slow, deliberate breaths. That helps to clear your mind and it helps to bring clarity and it helps to calm your body down. So, your breath is a really helpful um, thing to use at any time. So, as soon as you notice you're starting to get a feeling of anxiety or stress, if you just pay attention, put your focus on your breathing, consciously slow it down. There are many breathing techniques we can go through, but essentially, even if you just pay attention to your breathing, consciously slow it down, and just allow yourself to take a few slow, deep breaths, just slowly in, slowly out. I mean, you can do holding, you can do all of that. Like I said, many techniques. But even if you just say, I'm just going to take 3 slow, deep breaths, that will help to calm your body down, bring oxygen to the brain. It will help you think more clearly. Then the next thing I like to do, I mean, obviously it depends on the situation. So if something's happened that has triggered you and upset you, or maybe the company's made an announcement which has created a lot of stress and anxiety, there's an affirmation that I use myself, and I recommend it to all my clients, and it is so powerful. It actually comes from Louise Hay, which is where I first heard about it, but it's amazing what it can do. It is, out of this situation only good will come, for the highest good of everyone. I am safe. And if you just repeat that to yourself, I'll type it into the comments so that everyone can see it. But if you just repeat that to yourself in your mind, again, you'll find your body starting to calm down. And essentially, what that's doing is it's saying, I don't have to try and control this situation. It's going to work out better than I could have imagined. I'm just going to hand it over and let it resolve itself, because I know that whatever happens out of this, I am safe. I'm okay. That is a really powerful affirmation. You can use any kind of affirmation, but essentially, it's about calming your body down, and that affirmation will do that. And then let's say it's, um, I was terribly afraid of giving presentations and talking in front of groups. I do it all the time now, and I actually enjoy it. I'm nervous beforehand, but here's what I do. I breathe, and I remind myself it's not about me. It's about the people I'm speaking to, and it's about the information that I'm sharing. I don't have to try and be some kind of flashy presenter or anything that I'm not. I just have to deliver the information in such a way that I want them to be able to take something away from what I'm sharing. So as long as I make it, remember that it's not about me, but it's about the people there and what I'm sharing, that is really helpful. And that's helpful in any situation, because it stops you from thinking you have to try and control. So if somebody's being mean to you, if somebody's being um, difficult with you, you can remind yourself, I'm not responsible for this person. This isn't about me. It's about what's ever going on with them. So I just want you to know that there's a lot you can do by reframing your thoughts. But first, before you can even get to that point, you have to focus on your breathing and allow your body to calm with the breath, and then be aware of the thoughts you're thinking and how to turn them around. Just start turning them around, and you will start to, not only will you start to feel better, but it will change the dynamics of what is happening and how people are responding to you.
Definitely having that time to reset, to disconnect somehow from the reality that you're undergoing with the breathing, like you said, with something that brings you back to your center. Maybe even just feeling your feet
Yes.
on your shoes, on the ground, like I'm in this present moment, and then just feeling your body sensations, you're feeling your breath. And sometimes I know it's hard because when you're feeling those palpitations, when you're sensing your sweaty palms, it's scary sometimes. Like these body sensations can get very intense. And so it's like you may tend to panic. I used to panic when I would get so stressed to the point that I would experience panic attacks. And those are very scary. But yes, connecting to ourselves, and those, that affirmation that you said is very powerful because it's confirming and sending that message to our nervous system. We are safe, even though we're experiencing this stress response or this trigger. I am safe. I am safe.
Mm. Yeah, it's so important. And you can combine the two. You can, start with the breathing and the affirmations, use the tapping as well. You can combine the two. The trick is to know that you have tools that you can use, and then know when to use them depending on the situation and what you feel comfortable with. But you are never powerless. right? It's not about what's happening to you. Even just reframing that to say, okay, this isn't happening to me, this is happening for me. Question I like to ask often is, what is it I can learn from this situation about myself? Because when a difficult situation comes up, or when somebody's being really harsh with us, um, we tend to take it very personally, and we feel all these emotions. If you again just pause and say, okay, this doesn't feel good, what do I need to learn from this situation? Because when you learn whatever it is you need to learn, you don't need that situation anymore, you don't need that difficulty in your life anymore. There is something there for you to learn about yourself. So that's another way.
Yes, it creates some distance and
Yes,
detachment.
that's a great way to put it. Really.
Yes, and it's a way the brain sometimes need that space to
Mm,
make that separation, and we do it automatically. Sometimes in situations that are very stressful and traumatic, the brain shut down, and that's why sometimes there are things like you faint, or but those are more extreme things, where the brain just disassociate, and those are the responses. But we can do it in a way, in a very gentle way, where we have control, and again, we're not giving away our power.
right, right, exactly. Well, actually, we have more to share with you, but we've
Yeah,
run out of our 15 minutes right now. So, I thought we thought this might happen. We came up with a list of things we wanted to do, but so we're going to continue this. So one of the things that can also help you, which may surprise you, is your environment. So your work environment and actually your home environment. And I want to talk about that in a bit more detail next week. So for now, what I'm going to ask you is to think about your workspace first of all, and ask yourself, what do I love about my workspace where I'm working, and what do I not like about it? And I'm going to ask you to ask the same question about your home. What do I love about my home? And what do I perhaps not love so much about my home? Just make a note of those answers, and I'll tell you more next week. So you
I'm
can
excited for that. I need that session myself, because
Yes. Now, Alyssa, you have something that you wanted to share
yes,
with
I'll put
people?
it in the comments, but I'll tell you, if you want to learn more about tapping and have a quick reset video, I have it on my website. So you can go to www.flourishcoaching.com/resources. And again, I'll put it and actually free resources. I'll put it on the chat, so you can click there, and if you like to learn more, then go there, and we're always available for any questions. So you can contact Linda, private message her or me if you have any suggestions for our lives or any questions.
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to me before next week and tell me what you love and don't love about your workspace and your home, feel free to do that. But that's what we'll be talking about next week, so can't wait. All right, thanks so much, Alyssa. Great to see you as always, and I will see you again same time next week.
Yes,
All
see
right,
you next week.
thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.